Hello, everybody. It is Rocco, your boy, your professor here, ready to school you, take you to class. And in this episode, we're going to be doing a little bit more of wish listing, theory talking, getting excited for one of my favorite armies, the Ideneth Deepkin. Games Workshop has started their slow drip of articles. At the time of this video, we just have the one, but hopefully by the time this comes out, there'll be more. And don't worry, we will be doing another battle report. We hit the like total. A little late for me to actually get someone to play a game with and do all the stuff. But in the future, we will be doing another battle report. We're very happy here that things are going good with that. But let's get into this article right now where we talk about the new Battletome and the Leviathans, the sea turtles. My love, Shelly baby girl, gets to be battle line. Very exciting. So the long and short of all this is, they're saying that Fire Slayers are coming. Daughters of Cain, for whatever reason, are getting a new book. Probably because one of the playtesters loves Daughters of Cain. I kid. Everyone loves them. And Night Haunt are finally getting a third edition book, which is great. And right now they used Deepkin here as a pun to tide us over with some awesome new rules. We got beautiful shots of these turtles coming at you. And honestly, the whole reason I love Deepkin as much as I do is the turtle model. I love the idea of elves riding fantastical sea creatures and monsters into battle, running everybody over. I think it's great. I think having these harpoon launchers coming out and murdering everything is awesome. It is an awesome war platform. The turtle model was a joy to build. The Howdah on top, maybe a little but the turtle itself is amazing. And this talks about one of the sub factions here, and the Nautilar. So these were always talked about as being the really defensive Deepkin. Previously, they were, if you charged into their units, they rerolled hit rolls. Everyone always misread that at first and thought that if they charged, they would get to reroll hit rolls themselves. But no, it's if they get charged. But they always talked about how they loved their Leviathans. There was a very big thing for them. They're on the back of a gigantic sea creature. And this is a nice thematic way to say, hey, you want monsters as battle line? Go for it. We've got Stonehorns and Thunder Tusks. We've got Mega Gargants. And now we've got these fantastic turtles ready to go and tear it up. They do say you can fit 3 of them. So you're not getting the full Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle of 4 turtles in a list and a hero. Which is a little sad because right now they're currently pointed to be like okay for that. And it makes you wonder what the new points are going to be. And also it makes me wonder if they're going to get the D3 damage harpoons that the sharks have now. That could be a nice way to get a points increase. And maybe they get the totem keyword. Because for me, turtles already do enough damage. God, they really do. And in Nautilar, we're going to see the fins and the jaws with this crushing assault ability here be at neg 3 rend. And what's cool is it affects the turtle. It's not like a roar or a stomp that would affect enemy units. So Hunters of the Heartland won't stop this, which is really cool. And it's one of those things where, like, yeah, now I've got a choice. Do I roar? Do I go for neg 3 rend? Do I Titanic Duel? What do I do? I've got a lot of really good options. Excuse me. And this is just another great tool piece for an already great model that has great rules. And I used a turtle before it got the better rules in Broken Realms Marathon. Loved it then. I love my turtle now, and in the new book, I'm sure Shelly Baby Girl is still gonna have a place in my army because every time I take her out, she always finds some way to win me the game. Whether it's from her buffs to currently with Namarti to just the straight damage she could do, and Nautilus now all of a sudden is making me leave Dom Hain because if it's they get their monster hunting ability, that's cool. If it's Futan for some rerolls on mounts and stuff, that's cool too. But the thing that always got me on the fence was their 4 damage currently at top bracket, but neg 1 rend. And in this save stacking meta, all of a sudden the Leviathan feels even more like a monster than just like an all around support piece. And I'm excited about this. Oh, and then they put a tease here saying that your faithful Namarti thralls are ready for guidance from the new Thrall Master. So Namarti thralls are probably going to stay as unconditional battle line. Um, the Reavers got listed as unconditional battle line. Maybe that stays too. And then the Achillean King can make the fancy Eel Knights, the Achillean Guards, the Ishlain for defensive, and Morsar for offensive. Morsar being pictured there. Scroll down more. Is looking good. What I'm hoping for is the Futan makes the Alapexes the Sharks battle line because we've gotten teased in the new War Scroll that came out with the Battle Box, Fury of the Deep, where if they have 2 or more models in a unit and they come in ones, so that means they'd have to get reinforced a second time, which means they'd have to be battle line somewhere. They get a cool ability. That's the hope. And then I hope Dom Hain is still a monster hunting sub-faction. Maybe it's just you can't use monstrous rampages against them at all, like that one Stormcast sub-faction. And then something like this wouldn't, with the Turtle and Nautilar, all of a sudden you use this in a mirror matchup and you don't care. You choose this instead and then murder them. I'm hoping, because in the first book, they teased that Deepkin could one day get more faction terrain. So if there was like a shrine or something to pair off with the boat, so you get like one half a boat in one shrine. I hope Deep can get a real prayer lore. Because the rituals, I still use them. Most Deepkin players forget they exist. And that's probably fair. I put one of my heroes that could even try to cast a ritual, which is you roll 2 dice, and I think it's you try to get a 10 up on the dice. But if you're near the boat, you get +1. If you're near other the foot heroes, the Sharon foot heroes, if I remember right, you get another +1. The Soul Scryer can be a +2 to these rituals. But it's to stop your opponent from benefiting from cover. And half the time in AoS games, people don't even put terrain out that could count as cover. Stop your opponents from flying, which has its benefits. And another one that I've been using a lot, which is to buff the Eidolons to reroll hit rolls and heal a wound. Because my Aspect of the Storm has also been doing very good for me. So I want to see what we do with that, with a real prayer lore. Maybe make it, I don't know, give me some more buffs for Namarti. Make me have to really choose between eel spam and other things. And I've never played eel spam anyway. I've got 4 sharks. Have them be battle line. Let me replace Morsar Guard with them. So now I've got harpoon shooting instead of the mortal wounds. Make me have different ways to play. And given how all of the books that have come out have been so good and flavorful for their own armies, I'm excited for Deepkin. Nurgle is a strong book. Stormcast is a very strong book. Auric Warclans for the Ironjaws, at least, is a very strong book, and the rest are okay. I just want more books to come out for 3rd edition to see like what this writing style's been nice. Going back to Soulbright, Soulblight Gravelords, it's all these books have been strong and good and pretty much well rounded. So Nesh is a bit meh, but these new waves of books have been nice. And what we need in the meta is more anti-shooting, and a strong Deepkin army is the bane of a Stormcast Longstrike army. And I know this because I play both of them. I own 9 Longstrikes and old Anvils of the Helden Hammer there, where you could shoot in every hero phase. I miss it. New Longstrikes with the 2 attacks each, and they changed it so it wounds better. They're great, but going into like defensive eels that ignore your rend and can be on a 2-up save is nutty, and that'll stop those long strikes from ever even thinking about shooting anybody in the hero phase. I want to see a strong Nighthaunt book in the future. I want to see a strong Fire Slayers army that has Magma Drafts. I want to see Daughters of Cain. I don't know what you change in Daughters of Cain. You know? Like Fire Slayers could sneak in another unit. They didn't really need another hero. I understand that because these are the books that were being worked on from like the beginning of COVID. They didn't have the full production to make new units, and I get that. You could slide in another unit later though for Fire Slayers. I could see something like that. I could. And with Nighthaunt, I just want to see them have more than 2 sub factions. Because it's 2 sub factions and then build your own adventure. I want to see them be a really full-fledged army. Because again, another army that deep strikes and ignores rend, this time army-wide instead of on one unit, will mess up a shooting meta. Wave of Terror, currently as written, is you charge, right? And you roll a 10 or higher, you fight immediately in the charge phase. You do that before someone can unleash hell. And then all of a sudden, there you are murdering all the shooting units that everybody was worried about. I want more flavorful rules like that. I want points to go better. I want Heritance to be able to do their -1 to hit roll on someone with like 8 bravery or 7. Now 6 is a little low. But I love their bucket of attacks. I love all the dice you throw. I love all the synergies. I want the frickin' Morn Ghoul to have a few more wounds and a couple more attacks to it. And I know I said this was a Deepkin speculation video, but for all these books, I feel like I have to talk about them all because the state of our meta will be changing. And with all of these high rend, good quality attacks, but not necessarily a lot of attacks, with these mortal wound shooting builds, the thing that beats that is hordes. Where you just, sure, you killed 20 of my dudes. I have 900 left. That's a little hyperbole, but if I'm bringing 200 models with movement trays, because I'm not a monster, but if I'm bringing 200 models, even with like, if it's clan rats, like my Living City army with fulminators in it, and long strikes, by the way, because I own them. I'm gonna use them in tournaments. But my filth list hates Skaven because it's just I've got to waste my really good attacks on killing clan rats that are just going to be standing between me and all their shooting, and I'll never be able to actually kill all the stuff I want to kill. And that's really our question here in with this current meta. And so we shift over to a more horde focused thing. Deepkin, I don't feel they would ever be a horde army. The 2-inch reach on Namarti is great though. So maybe Morphan. We get some mighty Morphin Namarti Rangers there. Between the archers, and I love the Namarti Reaver War Scroll changes. It is just stupidly good as long as the turtle buff stays the turtle buff. Because I can picture myself running a unit of 20 or 30 of them with the aspect of the storm still having its +1 to wound aura, the turtle buff, the reaver buff, where the turtle buff gives you a +1 to hit for Namarta units if the enemy unit is wholly within the turtle's aura of 12 inches. And the Namarti Reaver buff is enemies within 9 inches of you, you get +1 to hit them. So that's +2 to hit. Unleash Hell is -1 to hit, so you're still hitting it +1, which will be a 2. +1 to wound from the aspect of the storm means you're wounding on 2s for your Unleash Hell. And you need a Night Haunt book to be in this universe here that can compete to mess up these archers, you know? And I get why they're priced at 170 points currently. I get it. It's strong, man. You know, and it's very exciting for the future of Warhammer about what these pieces and what these books are going to be coming out and what cool thematic rules we're going to... Because, let's be honest, I'm taking a turtle anyway. So this gets rid of a battle line unit for me that I didn't want to bring. You know, maybe that's 120 points of thralls. That's still in an elite army, not that much. Or maybe it's 130. I don't know what thralls go anymore. That's not a lot. It's not a lot. So it's more of a fun, cool rule. And then you get the monstrous rampage. I like that in a book. That doesn't seem overpowering. 3 turtles. You know what 3 turtles mean? 3 turtles and a hero. That means that is currently, as written, 15 bodies on an objective, because turtles are worth 5 models on an objective currently. Unless they get a new rule that says their wound count is their how many they count at. Which, that currently, as of this video, is not a thing. Nautilar is an objectively bad build if you bring 3 turtles and a hero to murder everybody. It'll be fun, but in a tournament setting, that's horrible. What we look at though with this, and why Nautilar's gonna steal me over and bring this back to this, is it's fun. Because these games are supposed to be fun. And I want to see what the other sub-factions, what cool thematic things that we find out in like a month after the book comes out and the first tournaments start going with these books being allowed. And something comes out of left field and just mauls somebody, right? I want to see what happens with that. I want to see 3 turtles and a hero with some crazy rules just ram people down. I don't know how. It doesn't make sense because there's at least 3 objectives on the table and each turtle will be too far spread out to do everything and support each other. But it'd be freaking cool to watch someone try. You know? I want to see Battle Line Sharks. I want to see Sharknado happen, where they're all shooting javelins and they're just running each other down and there's sharks eating everybody and it's mayhem. I want to see something crazy like that. Because that's what's cool about Age of Sigmar. You get these wacky, crazy builds that you can't possibly plan for in a tournament setting. And they're going to catch somebody out, and then they become the next net list. Then we're going to be complaining about ban Shelly instead of ban Vanguard Hunters and ban Dragons and Shelf Slanesh. And then we're going to move on to the next book or two to be like, okay, how do we do that? And then we start getting these rock, paper, scissor builds. Like, well, if I go this build, what if there's Night Haunt there? You know, what if someone's bringing a lot of frickin' Iron Jaws and it's a strong melee matchup, you know? Because right now the question was, how do you beat Mega Gargants in 3rd? And it was, all right, we just dump a bunch of damage. Now, a lot of armies are built for damage and not necessarily staying power. Well, then whoever has the longest range shooting gets to do that. Well, now we're getting Nurgle, which is a lot more staying power. How do we deal with that? We try to outbody them. We try to get to hordes, maybe. We try to go for mortal wounds. Well, now we got mortal wound shooting. Not necessarily bodies. And how do we deal with mortal, you know? And these books just get me that excited for the game to see what is next down the pipeline. And I cannot wait to run a Battle Line Leviathan. And with that rant, class, because that's all that was. Because I'm just excited for these books. I'm very excited for my army. I'm going to have cities, which is my main tournament army. The Deepkin, which will probably be my next main tournament army. Stormcast, which could be a tournament army for me. And then Night Haunt in our family here, with my wife generally playing that. We're going to have 4 armies that the two of us could swap in and out and play and have a great time with. And I can't wait to see other people get this excited when their army finally gets the new thing and to see what we can all do. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for coming to class today. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Spread the love in the video. Tell me in the comments, what do you want out of these new books? Whether it's Deepkin, Fire Slayers, Daughters of Cain, or Night Haunt. What do you want? Like, for me, my Deepkin, I want... No, I've got everything I want. Screw it. I'm fine. I want Sharks to be battle line. When it comes to Daughters of Cain, I don't know. They've got 5 usable sub factions. I want Drathi Gannett or Keltnar to really take up in popularity, and I want them to get the new avatar because 40k shouldn't have all the cool toys. Fire Slayers, I want Magmadroth to be good, and I want Mini Magmadroth Cav to be snuck in there on release. And Night Haunt, I want them to be a real army with multiple sub factions, and I mean more than 2. All right, I want them to have good sub factions. I want them to get the full Battletome treatment that we saw halfway through 2nd edition and carry on into 3rd. All right. And I want Olander to get a few more wounds on her. She deserves it. Okay? And I want to hear from you. So with that, as I like to say at the end of all of our videos, class dismissed. Bye.